Hey, everybody. It is good to be back again. I feel inspired today to talk about something that is so critical in sales that we probably don't really think about that much. And that is the impression that we are making on someone when we first meet them, because it takes only 7 seconds. It is so lightning fast for people to make a very long lasting and hard to change impression of us when we first meet them. That could be on a discovery call, that could be through DMs. However it is that we're first meeting people, it's only 7 seconds and they are forming a very firm opinion about us. And that has to do with the vibe that we're giving them when we first meet them. So your energy around your business is so critical to whether people want to work with you or you are pushing them away right off the bat. So that's what this episode is all about today. Welcome to the Next Level Sales Podcast, the podcast where sales, spirituality, and business come together so that you build your dream business, accomplish big goals, and make the world a better place, one conversation and one client at a time. I'm your host, Jessie Quinby Hearns, and after 20 years of having thousands of sales conversations and coaching hundreds of business professionals to multi-six-figure incomes, I am a firm believer that if you identify with being a kind-hearted individual who has big goals for yourself, yet you don't identify with being a salesperson, it is absolutely possible for you to build that thriving high-ticket coaching business while still being completely in alignment with your values and your authenticity. It is absolutely possible to bridge the gap between selling and creating your joyful, abundant dream life. So I'm here to inspire you, motivate you, and share stories to show you how all this is possible. It is a wonderful journey, my friend, and I am so glad to have you here with me. With that, let's get to today's episode. When I was still working in the corporate world, I was in a very male-dominated industry and worked for a company. This is when I was still on a sales team and out there selling to customers face to face and selling very, very high dollar products. It was a product and an experience, really. I was in the new home construction industry, so we were selling new homes that had not been built. So male-dominated industry. It was a long-term serving the client because you had to sell them something that didn't exist and paint the picture for them, and then hold their hand through a very long process of that home being built. And obviously, it was a very high-ticket product, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars. And typically, we would sell 3, 4, 6, potentially homes a month. It just depended on where we were selling. But the company that I worked for at the time had this thought, this management style, that if you reached a particular point of the month and you had not sold anything yet, that you would get called aside and they would have a conversation with you that if you didn't sell something that month, you would be out of a job. Now, I find this really an interesting management tactic. I personally don't agree with it at all. I don't think it is not only the person's responsibility to get a sale. There's a lot of factors that are involved in a sale, right? It's not simply whether the person is performing or not. There's a lot of factors, right? What's your pricing? It's all the good P's of marketing: product, pricing, promotion. Yes, of course, the person is part of that equation. However, as we are talking about energy and a sale, when someone was pulled aside and told that if they didn't sell something in the next couple of weeks, that they would be out of a job, this creates a lot of energy around the sales conversation that person had. Now, I'm lucky enough that I never had any of those conversations happen with me, yet I definitely knew people who had those conversations and the impact that it made on them with regard to how they approach the sales process and the conversations they have. Think about it. Really, really stressful, right? Not a lot of positive energy around a situation like that, okay? Someone has a conversation with you, you're going to not have a job in a few weeks if you don't sell something in the next week or two. So, you head back out, start having these conversations with potential customers again, and there's just an air of desperation to the need to sell something. And what does that do to the buyers? Do they pick up on that? Of course they do. Now, I think as much as possible, there was an attitude of trying to mask that. But yet I still really believe our buyers are savvy. They're smart. They pick up on those sorts of things. And when someone really desperately needs to sell something, you can feel it. And what does it do? It for me, I when I sense that, it just pushes me away. There's definitely energy of sales that pushes me away as opposed to drawing me in. Can you relate to that at all? As you think about it in your own buying experiences, have you experienced things like that? And I'm sure as business owners, listen, I've been there in my sales career too. Sales is not always a very straight line. Sometimes you have more abundant months than others, and it can really play with you. Certainly, if you are a business owner, if you're an entrepreneur, and you're trying to do all the things that everybody tells you to do out there to get new leads, to make sales, right? If you're out trying to do networking calls and you're trying to go out and do a live launch every quarter and you're doing all of these things, social media posts every day, just trying to find your leads, you're probably experiencing super inconsistent income months unless you've spent enough time and dialed all of this stuff in, your messaging, your offer. And that takes a lot of time, right? So if you are at a place where you are experiencing still an inconsistency in your lead generation and in your sales, that can play a real toll on your energy. You can feel exhausted. You can move from one sales conversation to the next, and it really can play with your mind. If you finish one sales conversation and it doesn't go so well, and yet you're rolling right into your next sales conversation, you kind of tend to pull that energy with you. And that's what I want to talk about, because I think when you get stuck in the pattern of feeling exhausted by sales conversations, it really has a detrimental impact on your ability to convert more new clients. And I don't want that to happen to you. I don't want you to feel that way. Sales should not feel that way, because the energy, this whole people making a very long-lasting impression, whether they would want to work with us or not, happens in 7 seconds, as I said. So we don't want any lingering negative energy, tiredness, any feeling of desperation, any feeling of, oh gosh, I really need this sale, any pushiness. We don't want any of that coming with us into our next sales call, because it really could have that negative impact on whether they want to buy from us or not. So my experience is you got to find a way to shift. This is not a fake it until you make it, not by any means. I don't ascribe to that. Faking it is simply more negative energy. That whole, hey, how's it going? How's your day going today? That's a whole sort of thing. Oh, that doesn't do much to draw people to want to work with you. It doesn't inspire a lot of confidence. It makes people feel a little suspicious. So when you're doing sales, you don't want to fake it until you make it. No, my experience is truly, number one, you just really need to start with being you. If you can just lean into the fact that people are going to resonate with you, like you, want to work with you because you're you. That is actually like one of your greatest superpowers in sales. And I say that as someone who went into sales having not a clue of what I was doing and quite introverted and really insecure about what I was doing. Yet, when I tried to do something that didn't feel right to me, that wasn't aligned with my values or with my personality, it just didn't work. It was that kind of trying to fake it till you make it. And you don't sell when you fake it. You sell when you are you and when you can stand comfortably within your skin and let people experience the real you. So, my experience is that's really step number one. You just have to recognize that, there's going to be some people who like you, there's going to be some people who don't like you. Listen, it's okay. You don't want to work with people who don't like you anyway. You are probably very much aligned and like your potential clients. You personally are probably very much like your potential clients. So that's a good thing. If people don't like you, they're going to choose maybe not to work with you. Totally fine. My experience is we are not meant to work with everyone. I have worked with clients who are not good fits for what we offer. Again, this happened back in the corporate world. And those customers, those clients, first off, as much as you try to tell them you don't think it's a good fit, if they still buy, they tend to be people who are not as happy. They don't tend to get the end results that you would want them to get. They are frustrated along the journey. It ends up taking a lot of your time. So it's not a win-win on either side of things. So if someone doesn't like you, if someone doesn't resonate with you, that's okay. They're going to go find somebody else who they do resonate with. And you will draw and attract the clients who resonate with you, who are like you. So lean into being you. That's a good vibe. That's a positive energy that you can share with the people who you're meant to work with. Then step two, for getting yourself energetically in the right place for a successful sales call, is to really think about the conversation from the perspective of the person you're talking to. A lot of times people get into sales conversations with us reluctantly, right? They don't want to necessarily talk to a so-called salesperson. They don't want to be sold something, right? So there's a little bit of reluctance on their end. They don't know what the conversation is going to be like. So you got to come into the conversation understanding the call and the context of the call from their perspective. They are likely looking for a solution to something in their life, right? That's why they're talking to you. You're going to potentially try and help them with something. So if they are at a point in their life where they are looking for a solution, they are looking for help, when we stand in their shoes and understand where they are on their journey, when we approach the call that way, we approach it with a lot more understanding and a lot more empathy and a lot more compassion and relatability than it is truly feeling like a sales call. And I think this helps you not only for your own energetic set point in getting into a call, but it also really helps your clients too. It helps put them at ease very quickly. That first 7 seconds shifts when you approach the sales conversation as if you're looking at it from your client's perspective and standing in their shoes. And then really 3, there's just the simple enjoying connecting with another human being, having a nice conversation, making their day better, sharing a little bit of love, so to speak. This is like when you're out in public and maybe you share a smile with a stranger and just there's this quick connection. You don't even know who they are, but you just smile at them and they smile back. And it's nice. This is what you want to do. You want to touch people that way in a sales conversation that shows that you're not just out for the sale, that you're really wanting to understand and listen to them. You want to see what's going on in their life and see if it's actually a good mutual fit that you potentially work together. There's not enough of this going on in the world these days. Not enough people feel like they're heard. So when we approach a sales conversation where we just want to connect and listen to someone and understand where they're at and then see if we can help them, that's a pretty positive, energetic exchange, right? So again, these sorts of exchanges really draw people to want to work with you. So there is a system that needs to happen. There are things you should say. There's kind of a pattern to the sales conversation. But I think when you step back and you look at the conversation and how you approach each conversation, recognizing that those first 7 seconds are so incredibly important in your client's understanding of who they might be working with, and do they want to work with you, and might they be able to trust you, and are you someone that they can look up to and see as an inspired leader for them? These are all really important things to think about. So my experience has shown me that when I take even just a couple of seconds between sales conversations, even if you're having a tough day, even if you're living that life of the emotional roller coaster of ups and downs on sales, 1 month sales, 1 month no sales, all that sort of stuff, just take a pause between each of your sales conversations and close your eyes and just think about the things that you can be grateful for in your life. Think about the journey that this next person that you will be meeting on that sales conversation. Think about the journey that that person's on and how much you might be able to help them and how much it could turn into a very long-term, beautiful, really positive relationship for both of you down the road. And when you think about it that way, I really think you can walk into your next sales conversation with an inspired path in front of you that energetically really touches the person you're having a conversation with and inspires them and draws them to want to work with you and have you as their coach, as their leader, as the person that can hold their hand on the journey of getting to that solution that they're seeking. Now, if this is resonating with you at all, I want to just take a moment to share with you that I'm about to roll out a new version of my sales coaching. I am feeling inspired to really create a higher touch, higher personalized experience with my sales coaching, and I'm getting ready in January of 2023 to launch my next founding member group of what I am now going to be calling the High Ticket Sales Accelerator. It's all about filling the holes in the bucket of your business right now. So we're going to repair the things that aren't working well so that you can really start to have great sales conversations and convert more new clients. But then we're going to dig into the whole lead generation process and stop you from doing things that are just killing time, that are wasting your time, that are not effective, that are not drawing people to want to work with you, that may be reaching out and hitting just lukewarm prospects where you are spending so much time and energy on things that are not producing you results. We've got a whole system in place to reverse that, flip that, let another system do the heavy lifting for you so that leads can be coming into you, quality leads can be coming into you while you are busy working on other things in your business. So, and from there, we're going to talk about scaling your business because all of these things, it's a very systematic step. So, steps, one step to the next step to the next step to help build a really thriving, effective, and authentic sales machine for your business that can sustain for the long term, that you can feel really great about for the long term. So if this sounds interesting to you, we are now in early December of 2022. So I don't know when you're going to be listening to this, but the High Ticket Sales Accelerator founding member group is going to be starting in January. Of course, we will still continue to take enrollments for this. It will be evergreen after that. So if it's of interest to you, I do have a little mini course. You can learn more about it. Just check the show notes and there will be some information about how you can register to take a peek at that mini course if it's of interest to you. So thanks so much for listening. I hope you all have a great day and keep your energy high. Don't forget those first 7 seconds make a huge difference, not only to you, but to your client as well. Have an awesome day, guys. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Now, before you go, if this episode resonated with you, I would absolutely love it if you would follow the podcast and leave a review so that we can reach more entrepreneurs just like you who are eager to start selling and fueling their dream business without feeling all those things around sales. And if you'd like a behind-the-scenes view of my life, hop on over to Instagram.com and follow me at Jessie Q Sales Coaching. Be sure to say hi and let me know you found my podcast. I'd love to hear from you. Have a great week, my friend. I will see you soon.